to Conversations with HJM. I'm Lisa Harris-Jones.
And I'm Tommy Tomset.
And today we have State Treasurer Dereck Davis. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Treasurer, before your appointment to Maryland State Treasurer, you served many years in the Maryland House of Delegates, ascending through the ranks to a leadership role in one of the most powerful committees, the Economic Matters Committee. How does your time in the legislature shape the way you approach your new position as the State Treasurer?
Thank you very much for the question. It's more so relationships. Those are very different skill sets, the skills that I had in the legislature versus what I need now as treasurer. But the relationship development, the interaction with my former colleagues, constituent services, those are the kinds of things that I bring to the table that have enabled me to hit the ground running and to be able to serve the citizens of Maryland. But the positions are very different, and I use very different skill sets.
As being a member of one of the most powerful boards in the state of Maryland, the Board of Public Works, with a new governor coming in, a new treasurer, you'll be the most senior person on that board. What does that mean to you in that leadership role?
In some ways, I guess the people of Maryland should be afraid. I have all of 1 year experience, or at the time the new folks come in, it'll be 1 year of experience. But no, in all seriousness, the new people that'll be coming in, I know most of them very well. They're very bright, they're very sharp, they have a vast array of experiences. They will do fine. They're hardworking, they're experienced, and they'll put the time in. So Maryland's in good hands.
You made history as the first black chair of Economic Matters, and you were one of the youngest chairs to take on a leadership position in the General Assembly. With that, the subject matter, the role that you played on Economic Matters and leading that committee, what did you bring over from that position to the Treasurer's office that helps the state of Maryland?
Thank you for the question. I think what I bring is just a deep knowledge and understanding of Maryland, how it works, its players, what it takes to get things done. I've worked, as you've mentioned, I've been in the General Assembly for nearly 3 decades, or I was in for nearly 3 decades, and just knowing how things work, being able to work the process, the understanding of the state budget, which is critical to the office of the state treasury. So just understanding those things, being able to have a working knowledge of Maryland's governance and its structure, those are the types of things, that understanding.
So this election has been said to be a first in a 100-year election with all 3 statewide offices open, the governor, the comptroller, as well as the attorney general. So it's an important election coming up. What do you see as the important issues, though, leading into this election?
I think, and there's just no other way to say it, a woman's reproductive rights, that's probably among the top issues, if not the top issues in the state. Is certainly a big national issue. I know the gubernatorial candidates have been addressing that. So I definitely think that's one of the important issues. I think one of the sleeper issues is cannabis, recreational cannabis. That has the potential to, number one, I think it's going to drive voter turnout. If that's if that's brought to the forefront, I think that's going to drive a lot of voters out who may or may not otherwise participate. I think the energy issues. We've seen climate change, the impact that it's having on Marylanders. We've seen the impact that it's having on bills, inflationary costs, the cost of gasoline, those kinds of things. I think the next General Assembly and the governor, they're going to have to tackle those issues. There's certainly concerns for Marylanders. And then just regular bread and butter issues, still trying to make college more affordable. Crime is certainly something that people are talking about, the need to get it under control. And to address the root causes of it. So those are just some of the things, and invariably, there'll be other issues that, that will be dictated from the national level that'll come up. Certainly voting. I think the security of the ballot, which quite frankly I think is overblown, but it's been brought up enough that it's starting to cause doubt among some voters, and we need to get that addressed. If you don't have confidence, if the citizens, if we don't have confidence in the security of the ballot, then you can jeopardize democracy with that. So, I think all states will be addressing that, and at some point, Maryland will too.
Okay, and I want to stay with the ballot itself. So Wes Moore is the Democratic nominee for governor going into the general election. And Prince George's County, the county you represented for many years, played an outsized role in his success. He won by the biggest margin there. What do you think your constituents saw there? And do you think there will be a benefit to Prince George's County for having the foresight to put Wes Moore as the candidate?
I think the state of Maryland will be the biggest beneficiaries if Wes Moore is the successful candidate for governor. I think what Prince Georgians saw, and certainly what I saw, we saw someone who's very bright, articulate, well-versed in the issues, someone who is inspiring, someone that I think we heard it before, hope and change that you can believe in. I think Wes is very thoughtful again. And he understands the needs of the people. He's not afraid. He's been in Prince George's County many times, and voters got to know him. He's going to do great things. He's going to do great things, and I think that's all we expect. We're not looking, and I don't want to speak for other people, but we're not really looking for any special treatment. What we're looking at, what we're looking at is just fairness, opportunity, and someone that has a vision for our state and where it can go. Maryland's a great place to live, work, and play, but it can be better, and we think Wes is the guy to make it better.
With the likelihood that there may be a Wes Moore as governor sitting next to you at the Board of Public Works, along with Brooke Learman in the role as controller, what does that mean for in the area of procurement with women-owned businesses, small businesses, minority businesses, with contracts coming before the Board of Public Works?
I think it's a great opportunity. Again, in my conversations, both during my legislative career and in my time now as treasurer, when I talk to minority business owners, women business owners, they're not really looking for any special treatment. They just want a fair opportunity. They want an equitable opportunity. And I think the governor really sets that tone. From what I've been able to see, when the contracts come forward from the various departments, it's incumbent upon the Board of Public Works, which I am a member, but also the governor, because those are his cabinet secretaries, that they make sure that Maryland is meeting its goals. It's one thing to have goals, but then you have to press the agencies to make sure that they're doing everything that they possibly can to meet those goals. And when you spread out that economic opportunity, as they say, a rising tide lifts all boats, and I think that's what they're looking for. So I think, with the potential for a new governor, a new comptroller, hopefully not a new treasurer, but I think with that opportunity that we have before us, we can really shift that dynamic and make sure that we are, that we're heeding that ideal that there's economic opportunity for all.
In that same vein, I know that you, knowing you and knowing some of the issues that you worked on throughout the years, you're a big champion of just not seeing minorities and women as subcontractors, but as generals and primes. And being on the Board of Public Work, I would think also supports that effort too on state contracts.
Absolutely. Again, we want economic opportunity for all. Small businesses are our economic engine in Maryland. It's not government or anything, or even large businesses. It's the small businesses. And the way they survive is that they are given fair opportunity, prompt payment. I know that has been an issue as well. So we just got to continue doing those kinds of things, making sure that the procurement is fair, that everyone gets to participate in the contracting opportunities, and that we have a level playing field. Too often that playing field is not level, and to the detriment of some and the benefit of others. I'm confident if Wes Moore is elected governor, we will have fairness and equitability in our contracting, that we will continue to move Maryland forward, and that our economic engine, which is our small businesses, will continue to churn forward.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us with Conversations with HJM.